Hey guys, it's Andy here in Deep Ellum, Texas. So this is like right next to downtown. Downtown is that way. And I want to take the picture of the week right now. With very friendly drivers around here. I'm actually at a street intersection, but I have this really cool little robot here. And behind the robot, if I get over like on this side of it, I can get a really cool view of downtown Dallas in the background. So I have my Sony A7R II with a 24-70 G master lens on it. And I have my little viewfinder here. It's kind of cool. I can see what my camera is seeing, so I don't have to worry about if I'm in shot or not. But anyways, the reason I want to do this is there's a new piece of functionality that Adobe released in their Lightroom app for the iPhone. So previously you could not edit a raw image on the mobile version of Lightroom. Well, now you can. And so all it takes is this little adapter here. So it's this little USB adapter. Let me hold this, make sure that's focusing. Yep, there we go. So it's this little USB adapter, not USB, this little SD card adapter that I can plug into my phone. And then it allows me to put the raw images directly on the phone, and then I can edit them in Lightroom Mobile. And it gets results pretty much exactly the same as they would be in regular Lightroom. So I'm gonna try this. I wanna take a picture, completely edit it in Lightroom Mobile, and that's gonna be the picture of the week. So let me see if I can put this down and see what kind of shot we can get. Now I may have to go out of frame for you all, but that's okay. And then what we'll do is we'll put this into Lightroom Mobile and see what we can do. So tell you what, let me go a little wider here just so you can get the kind of the full experience of what it's like being a photographer in Deep Ellum, Texas, or Dallas, Texas rather. So we got a real nice sunset over there, and we got this little robot playing the guitar with Dallas in the background. So gonna get a fairly wide shot here. I'm gonna focus on the robot, and let's see here. You know what? I think I may have just gotten the shot. Very seldom that happens the first time, but I think I really like it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my SD card out of my camera, put it into my phone, and let me actually show you what we're gonna do in Lightroom Mobile. Okay, so we're in Lightroom Mobile, the most up-to-date version, the one that you can update the raw photos in. And I'm going to click on my traveling man picture. And you will see I have a couple options down here at the bottom. I'm going to select the third one from the left, which is going to be the little sliders one. And these sliders are going to be very similar to what I have in regular Lightroom on my computer. So I'm going to wait for this to load up. So let's give it just a second, and we'll be back whenever it loads up. Okay, so it's loaded up. It takes just a little bit of time simply because it's a 42 megabyte file. It's not used to doing stuff like that. So anyways, first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to hit this with the exact same Lightroom workflow that I typically use. First thing I'm going to do is mess with the white balance, make sure that's nice and good. Let's put it on daylight right now. I think that's going to be a little too cool in the end, but for now it's fine. And then I'm going to play with my highlights and shadows a little bit. So I'm going to bring my shadows up just because I want to make sure I get a good amount of detail on the traveling man. In a previous live, I would say shadows plus 100, highlights minus 100. I've kind of shied away from that a little bit. Try to get it right in camera a little bit more. So let's do shadows plus 50. It's not all the way there yet, but I'm getting there. So highlights, I need to pull these. Let's pull them down to, let's go somewhere around there, minus 62. And then I want to set my white point as high as I can without clipping. So that looks about good right there. And I'm checking the histogram as I'm sliding this back and forth. I'll pull the black slider down, my black point down just a little bit as well. And let's add some clarity, a little more clarity. Let's do some vibrance as well. I do not apologize for loving vibrance, even though it gives, it can kind of get out of hand sometimes, but that's all right. Okay, so set my contrast, and now looking at it a little bit more, yeah, we do need to, let's bring this white balance up just a little bit. Let's go to cloudy. Cloudy's going to be a little warmer. Yeah, that looks good, right? And at any time, if I want to, I can put 3 fingers on the screen, and you'll see what it looked like before and what it looks like now.
Now, previously when you were doing this, you would be doing it with a JPEG image, which means you're not going to retain all of the detail. And whenever you're playing with a JPEG image, you're messing with a compressed file, which means any changes that you make are going to result in image degradation. Whereas a RAW file, without getting too much into the technicals of it, the RAW file is completely unedited. All Lightroom is doing is basically giving you its own interpretation of the edits you're making, and you can save that edit without affecting the original RAW file. So you can play with the white balance, play with the exposure all you want, and you're never going to mess with anything or damage the file itself. So now let's see, what else do we need here? This was at sunset. This is a golden hour, so that's why I wanted it to be a little warm. But let's go into my local adjustments here. And this is going to be similar to the graduated filter. So M or Shift M are the hotkeys. So I have a linear selection now, and so I'm going to click my plus sign here, and I'm going to add a linear filter. So anywhere that you see in red, that is going to be affected by this filter. And so what I'm going to do is add some color. I'm going to add some warmth. So what I'm doing is, since it's a golden hour shoot, I want to make sure that it feels very, very warm without really overdoing it. So what I've done is I've just added a little bit of warmth up in the sky, and that looks pretty good. And then what I might want to do is, let's go to a radial selection and let's add a new one. And let's see here, let's add my radial selection by doing this and then doing that. And man, this thing's going crazy on me all of a sudden. Okay, so now let's make this radial selection really big. And then what some people like to do here is use a radial selection to do some slight vignetting. So what you would do is bring down the exposure, and that's bringing it down inside of the circle. But if you click this button up here next to the trash can, it switches it. So anything outside of the circle is going to be reduced. But ultimately, I don't really like that too much, so let's just get rid of that. Anyways, okay, so let's go back to some presets now. Let's go to my my detail. Let's select detailed. It's going to take a little bit of time to do that, but that's okay. All right, so it is now detailed, and let's see what other options we have here. Let's go to the crop. You can see in the background the buildings are a little bit cattywampus. It's a technical term, cattywampus. So I'm going to select the auto straighten and see what it comes up with. And that looks pretty good. I didn't want to lose too much of the any of the robot on the left, so that crop is actually fine. So I'm going to select the check mark there. And yeah, I think this looks like a pretty solid image. So what I'm going to do is go here to the top right button and then select Save to Camera Roll. And you have the option of saving like a maximum size JPEG from this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select the small one just because it's better for the website. So I'm going to select small. It's going to prepare it, throw it to my camera roll, and then I can put it directly up on the website. So that is all we have. And yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this quick little Lightroom mobile tutorial. And I hope you enjoy the picture of the week. The Traveling Man is a really, really cool little piece of art down in Deep Ellum. And yeah, it's been a blast shooting this video and sharing this image with you. So until next time, this is Andy Luton from Andy's Travel Blog. Take care out there and travel safe.